Hey guys, it's Bryony. So I'm back from Sardinia. I had a fantastic holiday, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see me spamming you with all the photos and stuff. But yeah, I had a really great time, and it was really great to sort of get away and relax for a bit and just decompress from work. And yeah, I apologise for this video being a day late. I got back quite late on Tuesday, and then yesterday, which is Wednesday, which is video day, I was just absolutely shattered and I still had quite a bit of work to get through, so I didn't get around to doing my video. But I posted on Instagram and Facebook and asked you guys what you wanted to see, and one of the requests was to see an updated favourites for my cloth pads. So I'm going to do that today. I also had a few requests for like an updated stash video for like all my cloth pads and all my menstrual cups, so if you guys want to see that, let me know. I think I will probably do them separately though, because otherwise I might be here quite a while. Yeah, but I'll get around to doing that. So I've picked a couple of pads from each section of my stash, so going from sort of overnight through to panty liners. I've tried to pick 2 of each style, and I've also picked the cloth pads which are made by brands that still exist. A lot of my cloth pads, because I started like 5 years ago, the brands don't exist anymore. They've stopped selling because they were just work-at-home mums making a bit of extra cash, and they kind of ran for a year or 2 or whatever, and they don't exist anymore. So I didn't really want to put them in a video and be like, oh, this is my favorite pad, and by the way, you can't get it anymore. So I have tried to stick to brands that do still exist, and I will put the links down below to their shops. So I guess I'll start with the panty liner and go through to overnight. So my first favorite for my panty liners is this Essence of Eve cloth pad. This is bamboo velour topped with a micro fleece back, and it's not the thinnest of pads, but it's just so like soft and flexible that it really just sort of molds completely to your body when you're wearing it. This can be a bit of a downside if you haven't got really snug underwear on, because it will just like shift around everywhere, but as long as you're wearing kind of snug fitting underwear, you'll be fine with this one. I just really love the shape, works pretty well for me, but really it's sort of the fabric on this. Do bear in mind, if you live in a hard water area and you don't have a tumble dryer, that the bamboo velour will go quite hard in hard water, so it won't stay as soft as it feels when you first get it. But I tend to put my cloth pads just through the tumble dryer for half an hour, just to help like keep them a bit softer, but then I put them out to air dry. I wouldn't like just dry them in a tumble dryer, it's not really good for the environment, but just for like half an hour, that just softens them up a bit. So if you don't want to do the full tumble dry thing, you can just do that. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. I've had it for many years, I've talked about it before, and the Essence of Eve actual pads didn't really work for me. They leaked quite badly because I got them without PUL, but the panty liners, they're pretty darn good. So my next favourite panty liner is a little bit of a shameless plug. It's the Precious Stars Sparkle Panty Liner. You can possibly see from this print, this is one of the first prints we had, and actually I think this was one of the prototypes I was first sent when we were getting the design source and everything, but it's kind of faded because I've just used this so much. It makes sense because I designed them, so they would work for me. But yeah, this shape just is the best, I think, for my body, and that's why I really love these liners. I have quite a few of them actually, and obviously this is the Sparkle range, which is our Made in Britain one with the Precious Stars website, and it's just topped in this breathable cotton, and it's backed in micro fleece and has the label there. I cut off the wash label, which you can do if it gets annoying, but it doesn't need to be on there, so you know what to do with them. But yeah, these are designed to be really thin, so you feel like you're almost wearing nothing there. So that was my second favourite panty liner. Moving on to Light Flow, I only picked one Light Flow pad out because I don't have very many of them, and I don't tend to use Light Flow pads anymore. I tend to just put on some like period underwear and just drip onto that. But this is definitely my favourite of all my Light Flow pads. This is a Novel Red pad. It's just cotton topped, fleece backed. Not super thin, but it's very comfy, so it just like folds and contours to your body really well, which is what I liked about this. And again, it's kind of got that straight up and down, which just works for me. It's really absorbent, really comfortable, just fits really well with my body shape, and that's why this is one of my favorites. Next, I have the Moderate Flow pads, and this is one of my all-time favorite cloth pads. I've mentioned this before, I think, in a favorites video, but this is a County Cloth Creations. I think this is a 9-inch moderate pad. They are super thin, but so absorbent. Like, I have literally bled on this from like all of this. It's just covered in blood and nothing has come through the back. They are just almost bulletproof, but still really, really slim, so you don't feel like you're wearing a big pad or a big nappy or anything. And this owl print is pretty cute as well. I don't know, I don't think I actually bought this from her shop directly. I think this I might have done, but I think this was actually sent to me in a swap that I did many, many moons ago when I was still a very small YouTuber in this world. And yeah, but since then, you know, she does still run, I checked, and I just absolutely love her style. It works so well as well for me. And this is one of my pads that I almost always keep in my bag in case of emergencies, but you can see it just fits to your body so well. The design of this is really good, and it's a micro fleece backed pad as well with PUL in it, so that's what keeps it really slim. But yeah, that's my favourite, I think probably favourite of all time, moderate cloth pad. And my other favourite moderate cloth pad is this one by Red Anchor Cloth. So this one is just a little bit longer than actually it's quite a lot longer than the Counter Cloth Creations. This is 9 inches and this is I think 11 inches. I actually tend to prefer more length in my pads because I like to feel like I'm completely covered, especially on my slightly heavier days. Even though this is a moderate pad, the cloth pads will hold a surprising amount, so this will actually be fine for my heavy day for a few hours. And you can see it's moderate because it has 2 little stars on the wing. I'm not sure whether you can see them. Yeah, there are 2 little stars on the wing. The print is gorgeous. I love teal and purple, like my 2 favorite colors, and they've got these little, like, what do you call them, hula girls, I think? Either way, it's adorable, but it's the shape that I really like, and it's very good quality. It's very well made, and she is also an Etsy seller too. This one does have more of a flared style, which is not usually a favorite of mine, but as long as it's bigger, that's all right. And I do tend to feel a little more protected when I want to wear this on a day when I want to lounge in bed, for example. Moving on to the heavies, my first heavy pad is this one by Mini Vivi. It's 11 inches bamboo velour topped. I do also have a hand-dyed flannel topped cloth pad by her, which is the same as this. It's a heavy as well, and I love that one too, but I think this bamboo velour is just a little nicer because it's just so soft. These are pretty thick, so if you have really heavy periods, they're not super bad, as you can see there, but if you have really heavy periods and you want to feel like you've got something in your underwear, these are definitely going to be great for you, sorry. I just like how the shape is a bit different on this one. She's got the wings stitched just onto this fleece. The wings are just made of fleece, and then when they're closed like this, you get this sort of ergonomic shape. And it's just a bit different, but it works really well. There's been a lot of thought put into this pad, which is what I really like about it. Yeah, pretty much bulletproof. I don't think I've ever leaked through this one, and I have got quite heavy now on my heavy days. Not seriously bad, like some people, but a little bit heavier. And I also think this, like, hand-dyed, I love hand-dyed prints, especially bamboo velours and stuff. They just look so gorgeous, as you can see there. So that is one of my favourite heavy pads. And the other one is this one by Full Moon Creations. So this is a very interesting shape, this pad, as you can see here, and actually she does a lot of interesting shapes with her pads. The thing I really like about this one is these small wings, which don't sort of take a lot of room. The flaredness of it is not particularly my favourite, but I do like the suede cloth because suede cloth is a stay dry fabric, so if I'm really heavy, like bleeding on this, I won't even feel damp. But it's also quite narrow in the middle, which is good because it's quite hard to find larger pads that have a narrow gusset. It just makes it, I'm very petite. My bum is like a size 6, I think, in the UK, which I think is a size 2 or 4, yeah, 2 in the US. So I'm quite petite, and I do need narrow gussets, so this was really nice to have that. But also I think I just like the attention to detail with this pad, and she does a lot of different styles and prints too. So yeah, she's still very active and involved, but she's more of a Facebook seller than anything else. But that was my other favourite heavy pad. And finally, moving on to my favourite overnight pad. Now, I don't actually tend to use overnight pads that much anymore. I tend to just use period underwear. I have many brands. I just find it makes me feel a little bit more reassured. I just feel more reassured when I'm wearing period underwear. But I will still occasionally wear an overnight pad, and if I do, I will almost certainly reach for this one first, and that is my 15-inch So Sweet Creations pad. She's an Australian seller on Etsy, and I just think this print with all the unicorns and the rainbows is gorgeous. If you've been following me for a while, you know I love like rainbows and unicorns, and I'm a real girly girl when it comes to that kind of stuff. Pink is not my favourite colour, but I don't mind it with this. But yeah, oh my gosh, just look how gorgeous this thing is, and it's massive, so you are not going to leak off of this, and I don't think I have ever leaked off of this, but it's also still pretty darn thin. I'm keeping a hold of these to a lot of my overnights because they work really well for like postpartum as well. Overnight pads tend to double up as postnatal pads too, so once you've had a baby and you want like a nice soft comfortable thing to sit on which is going to absorb a lot of blood, these are your sort of go-tos. And yeah, not pregnant or planning to get pregnant anytime soon, but you know, cloth pads will last 10 years, so who knows. But yeah, I don't tend to use these ones as much anymore, but this is definitely one of my favorite. It's also corduroy backed, which is a bit different. It's a little bit better for the planet than polyester fleece, which is what most cloth pads are backed in, and it does also have a waterproof layer in it, but corduroy also stops it from slipping. So yeah, it's just a bit different, but I love the shape is really good. I just wish these were a little bit closer to the top, so it was more, I had more length in the back because I'm a back bleeder, particularly overnight, but because it's so big, like, look, you're gonna cover everything with that. So that is my favorite overnight pad. So these were my cloth pad favorites for 2018. I'm really sorry, someone has started mowing the lawn outside and there's nothing I can do about it. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.